Hey everyone, welcome to Wednesday night OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini with our new time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've gotten a lot of people saying that they're in bed by 9 o'clock, and we totally understand because we know that you guys probably get up at 5, between 5 and 6.
Yeah.
So we decided to go a little earlier for those of you that want to catch us. So before we begin, don't forget to share our page and our post tonight, like it and follow it, because a lot of you are saying you're not seeing our post. So if you don't like and follow it, you won't get the notifications when it comes up. So
you have to do both.
Yeah, so make sure you do that. So make sure everybody's sharing. I'm almost at 3,000 followers. So with that said, don't forget to tell your friends and your coworkers, even supervisors that want to get trained to do the right thing, to follow and like. I mean, we know a lot of you get upset with the supervisors. Maybe it's because the supervisors just don't understand the rules and the laws, and they just don't understand OWCP just like you guys, because we were told that they really don't get that much education on it. But we do know a handful of supervisors that are very genuine, that are willing to help you guys when they get injured. And some of them actually are injured and wind up calling us to go to a clinic.
That just happened, right?
Yes, that just happened. So we're going to be really to the point tonight. Those of you that don't have Twitter, we understand. There's a handful of you that don't do social media or don't do Twitter, but follow us here. So we just wanted to give you all the rules and laws and statutes that Chris has been posting on Twitter. And make sure you guys, I said this in the post, take notes. And if you don't have Twitter, copy this down and use it to your benefit. So he's just going to go over all the basic ones. And then again, maybe in a couple months next year, we'll probably do this again. And then at the end, we have some things, where we're going to be, upcoming events, and so forth. So again,
let's talk a little bit about that now and later.
Okay, so
we have two things coming up.
Yeah, so we want you guys to know that we are coming to Massachusetts. It's going to be a really great event. And I know I've been sharing the invitation 2 to 3 times a week. And I'm doing that just to make sure I'm catching everybody in Massachusetts. And I know a lot of you are sharing it with your coworkers. So this is going out to all federal employees, AFGE, the rural carriers, the mail handlers, APW, and the NALC. So those of you that are in Massachusetts, even in Connecticut, Maine, or New Hampshire that want to come on over will be welcome to talk to you one-on-one and answer your questions. We're going to start right at 8 o'clock. And, if we have to go an hour and a half, we will. But we will stay until everyone's questions and concerns have been answered by Chris and I and our team there. And you get to see our team that you guys don't see, but we always talk about. We will have them on Facebook when we get there. So that's August 28th at 8 p.m. at our Quincy office, where Dr. J and Maria are there. There's Tom and Derek and John and Emmy and Ellie and the whole gang out there. So
Michelle.
Oh, and yeah, Michelle. So we're really looking forward to coming out there and, hitting the ground really hard and helping all the federal employees out there. And for you guys to understand, we're not saying we want referrals. We want to educate you. And I think there's a huge misunderstanding sometimes with the local presidents. When I reach out to you or anybody else reaches out to you from federal injury centers, it's because we're trying to get in to help your members, because we get the questions, can you guys come to our union meetings? Can you guys come to our state conventions? And obviously we can't just show up. We have to be invited. So,
but it's hard to get the invite. Too many union leaders are skeptical of us. And, I used to say, well, that's understandable. I understand why, but not anymore. The things that happened in the past from other people, not us, should not be a reflection on what we're doing for you. And everyone's just going to have a little trust. because not trusting us means you're not getting the help.
Yeah.
And, you know, you need the help. So let your union leadership know that they should, you know, invite us in, at least be open to letting us help you, because you need the help. And a lot of the unions have OWCP representatives, but I think if you've heard them, you'll understand that what we're doing is not competition with them. It's a nice, it works in conjunction with what they're doing. And, you know, I hear all the time that I teach it differently. And so you need all of the education you can get from me and from them. So, you know, be open to letting me train. Just because you have an OWCP trainer doesn't mean you can't have other OWCP training. It's never going to be enough. And with 2.8 million federal employees, I don't imagine I'll ever get to everybody, but we're going to try.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's only so much we could do. And I know that either I seek you out on Facebook. I'm not trying to stalk you. I'm only trying to get you guys to pay attention so you guys could learn something. There's a lot of local presidents that ask Chris a lot of questions and don't know. So when we come to the union meetings and the state conventions, they question him because they have a lot of questions themselves.
Yeah.
Because they, you know, being a local president, there's so much that you have to know and do. So OWCP is not on your top thing to do 24/7, whereas we do it 24/7.
We specialize in this one thing.
So with that said, yeah, go ahead and share. I know a lot of you are probably didn't see that we changed the time, so get your friends on, and this is going to be very informative. And we're not here, like some people say, we're not rambling. We're educating you guys. You know, Chris is the one that educates. I'm the one that gives you all the information of where we're going to be, upcoming events. So with that said as well, we are going to be in Birmingham on August 17th. In the morning, we are doing a steward training for Birmingham mail handlers in local 317, I think. But we'll be in Birmingham. And then in the evening, we will be with the Birmingham APW stewards and members. So those of you that are hearing this, let your coworkers know if they have any questions. We normally get a bunch of questions.
Don't miss it.
Don't miss the union meeting because we won't be back until the following month. And with the mail handlers, you know, you guys have every quarter. So we probably won't be back till November, December. So make sure for the mail handlers in Boston, in Birmingham, tell your coworkers that we're going to be there, and Chris is going to start doing steward training before the actual union meeting starts. So those of you that are stewards in Birmingham with the mail handler, come on over.
And this Wednesday coming up in a week, I'm going to be back in Texas. And although I wasn't officially invited by the rural letter carriers, I'm going to be out there Wednesday evening because so many of our friends are going to be there. So I'm going to go and say hi to people that are friends of mine. So if you're there, I would love it if everyone would come over and introduce yourself. I'll be wearing my Federal Injury Center shirt, so you know it's me. I'm not as recognizable as she is. So for I don't know why. So I wear the shirt.
Hello, everybody. So
I'll be there Wednesday evening. I'll let everyone know as it gets closer, like where I'm going to be. But I envision being inside the humongous sports bar and
at the Gaylord, right?
At the Gaylord Texan, in a place called like Texas Station, I think is the sports bar that's there. It's incredibly large. But so I'd love to have everybody come out and say hi, and we can just spend some time talking. We don't have to talk about OWCP. We can talk about anything. I'm really just interested in meeting you if we haven't met yet. And for those of you that are that we have met, and we're gonna have a really good time. And I may have to get a room there because I might not want to drive the 20 minutes back.
Yeah, unfortunately,
that 20 minutes. I'm 20 minutes away.
Yeah, that same day, I will be flying with my son to get him over to Lubbock Christian University and taking care of that, and then meeting Chris in Birmingham. So I'm sorry I won't get to see you guys, but Chris will be there. Yeah. He'll have, I'll give him some of my business cards. If you guys want to get in touch with us, give us a call. We still don't have a Federal Injury Centers clinic, but there's two great clinics, one in Grand Prairie. And I always tell you guys, I give you Andy's phone number in Grand Prairie and Dr. On in Houston. She's great. Unfortunately, those are the only two that Chris has trained.
Yeah.
And they're very successful in what they do. And before Chris begins, one thing. Sometimes a lot of you are coming to our offices, the Federal Injury Center's offices, and you're saying, oh, well, I came and my case got denied again. Understand that sometimes when the second time we're filing the denial and the doctor has to rewrite everything, it's crossing with the denial that came the first time. Is that what I'm trying to say?
The easier way to put it is denials happen, we fix them.
Yeah.
So people get a denial and they panic. Oh, no, what do I do? Bring it in and let us see the letter and fix it. It happens. We've seen claims examiners that it's like they didn't even read the narrative, you know? And so you want to put like a big Sharpie around it and an arrow and say, you know, this is what you missed the first time. So stuff happens, but if that happens to you, don't worry.
Don't get upset. We will get our doctors to fix it. I see a lot of you that are going to be going, like JJ's going. He said he's going to wear a pink tutu.
I'll be looking for you, JJ.
Jerry's going. Jerry, this is not fair. I really wanted to see you. I'm really.
Mike's going to be there.
Yeah, Mike will be there. There's Lori Morris says, yay, I will see you in Texas. Now I'm really jealous. Unfortunately, again, I can't be there, but.
I told her, you know,
for
some reason going to help her son start, you know, college.
I know.
More important.
Hey, Tanyelle. And those of you, I don't know if you saw our pictures. We were in Montgomery 2 weeks ago, and we were helping the Montgomery VA Local 301 in Montgomery with Tanyelle and Rudy and Lisa and the gang out there. We got to see Jeremy Lennon, and Chris was out there, and MVP Mullet was out there, and Chris was on the grill.
I think we cooked like 200 hot dogs or something that day.
It was really good. We did back to school backpacks, and these are the events we love to get involved with, and it's so much fun, even though we were like, everybody was dripping up sweat, you know, but it was so much fun, and we always look forward to this. So those of you that still want us to come out to your stuff, let us know. And then on Saturday, we were at our local VA in Bay Pines in St. Pete with Tish, the VA president there. She's also the state president. And we were helping out there and came by and said hello to everyone. So we love to get involved with events. We'd love to come to your union meetings. We are, just an FYI, we are already getting booked for 2020 state conventions. So we have 3 people that have called already, and it's on the books. So those are presidents that are there, and those are the ones that help the presidents make your schedule. Please reach out to me. Don't call Chris because he won't get the message, and he just forwards it to me. So call me at 877-787-OWCP and get with me. And he has no clue where he's going. He's like, where are we going today? He doesn't even know what day of the week it is. It's probably Thursday, and he thinks it's Sunday.
If it wasn't Wednesday night OWCP chats, I might not know this is Wednesday.
Yeah, so.
For all I know, it's Saturday.
Tanyelle said April 11th. What's April 11th? I don't know what she said April 11th. What's April 11th? Is it 411?
You're so funny.
No, it isn't. Okay, so they didn't read mine. What did you say, Jerry? Me too. Say hi to me. I'll be in. Oh, Jerry, hello. I'll be in the VA delegation. JJ says I always need a good excuse to hang out at the Gaylord Texan.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm really, really, really jealous. Mike Wilson, contact me. I really want to come and meet with you and everybody at the Bureau of Prison. So we are looking forward to coming out. So all of you AFGE members and all the other agencies, everybody get out there on August 28th and come say hi to us. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris.
Now, back to you. No, just kidding.
JJ said 2020 NALC Honolulu. We do know that Al told us that they're going to Honolulu. Unfortunately,
waiting for the invite.
So that would be great.
I feel like I'll be waiting for a little longer than I want to be. It's probably not coming.
Oh, Tanyelle said, do you guys have April 11, 2020 wedding? What are you talking about? Who's getting married?
Yeah, so I don't know how to change. Don't spit the coffee out. So, transitioning from there. So just to recap, see you next Wednesday in Grapevine, Texas, and see you again August 28th in Massachusetts in Quincy. And I expect everybody in Massachusetts and the surrounding states to show up.
Yeah.
If I don't have people lining up outside to get in, that is a disappointment. So fill it up. Food and drinks will be there, and we'll be there. And it'll be fun.
It's not about Chris. It's about the food and drinks, and the drinks, and the drinks, and the drinks. Yeah.
Okay. So tonight I'm going to talk to you about what's on my Twitter feed. And this is not a joke. I'm really going to talk to you about what's on my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
But the reason why is there are only 560-something people following it. And too many of you are not getting what I'm posting on here. So we're going to discuss it. Just send your questions in the comment as you hear something that, gives you a question to ask or a question about anything else, and we'll get to it. But in order to get this in real time, you need to follow my Twitter page. It's at Fed Injury Center, the @ Fed Injury Center. And I keep looking down because Gizmo is...
Gizmo does this thing, and if anybody has a dog that does it, he thinks he's digging for gold on the carpet. So
he digs even on tile.
He digs for gold on the tile. So we don't know if there's gold under there, but he's digging.
Anyways.
Gizmo!
And then you get yelled at. So anyways, Twitter, at Fed Injury Center. Pass it around, share it, follow it yourself. Because what I'm doing is posting some laws on there, regulations, some things are going to be super helpful for you. And you can have them in real time. As I post them, you can see them versus waiting. So, yeah, seriously, that dog's going to make me nuts. I'm going to do something out of the ordinary. Narayan, come get your dog. Thank you. Okay, so Twitter. Here's the first thing I've got. I posted this all the way back in December, almost at New Year's. I just simply said you can't be forced to go to the company doctor or to the VA doctor when you're hurt at work. You can choose your own private doctor. So, that's a law that I like to talk about everywhere I go. It's in my presentation when I go and talk live. The presentation I use has several laws that address this situation. But you can choose your own doctor. Too many supervisors and HR, injury comp, are telling you have to go to their doctor. You have to go to urgent care where the nurse practitioners are going to see you, sign off, and instantly get you denied because it's not an ND. And then, but the biggest problem is at the VA, where you're told you have to see a VA doctor, where the law specifically says you don't have to see a VA doctor. They can't tell you that you have to. And in fact, they're supposed to tell you it's your right to choose. They never do that, ever. I think it's not always malicious. Sometimes it's just a lack of education on the part of the supervisors. But you got to know that you can choose your own doctor. And why is that important? Because almost every doctor gets cases denied. 1 out of 13 federal employees has an accepted claim. If you're a VA employee, it's 1 out of 18. If you're a Department of Defense employee, it's 1 out of 28. So it's horrible. You cannot be forced to go to the doctor of their choice. You go to the doctor of your choice.
Yep.
And so I've been talking about this for a while, but that was posted in December of 2018. And then here's one. I don't think this is going to happen. I just simply said we need a solution for the total misunderstanding and complete lack of education on the OWCP for federal employees. Who agrees? I mean, something's got to give. And here we are, we're here teaching you. We're asking to be invited to union meetings and other events. And lots of times we get invited, which is great. But too many times we don't. And we're told, well, we don't work with anybody that does OWCP, or we have somebody that does that internally. Not like this, okay? Not like this. So more of us need to be helping. I'm teaching you now. You should be out teaching somebody else.
Yeah,
Spread.
definitely.
We should be all, working together on this. No more denied OWCP claims. Yeah, you think? All right, so here's one of my favorites. So on the USPS website, they have some regulations for for management specifically. And this particular one is the penalty for refusal to process a claim. So let's say a supervisor says, I'm not going to let you fill out your CA1 or CA2, or I'm not going to turn it in, or I'm not going to fill out page 2. I don't have to, right? Which is their job. And so they prevent you from filing your claim. The penalty for that is up to $500 and up to a year in prison. Does that, if you're us, does that sound good or good? I mean, to me, that sounds great. Don't do that to us and you won't have the penalty. So if a supervisor refuses to process your claim, they can actually go to jail for a year. It's a very serious offense. And the U.S. Code says it's a crime to prevent you from filing a claim. And so I said that all the way back in January. And everyone needs to understand that, because we still see all the time people saying, well, my supervisor refused. Or, I was just on a base and management doesn't want to fill anything out. And they want you to e-copy yourself, which is fine, you can. But they're sort of getting in the way of your ability to file a claim. Okay, and that's a crime. Not because I said so, but because it is. And I found this really interesting one on my birthday in January. And it was a memo from the Postal Service to management dated all the way back in 1991. And it says an employee cannot be required or compelled to undergo medical exam and or treatment during non-work hours. I thought that was really interesting, because the Postal Service says you can't be required to go to the doctor off the clock or outside of your work shift, which means you can go during your work shift. But what do we hear all the time? Supervisors saying, no, we can't let you off of work. Well, this has been in effect since 1991, and it hasn't changed. We checked it with the union president, and it's still in effect. And so if you are injured at work and you need to see the doctor, you can go during your shift. You don't have to wait until outside of your work shift. And what if your doctor is a 9 to 5 Monday through Thursday doctor, which too many of them are, and your work shift is outside of 9 to 5? Like, when are you going to go to the doctor? You're never going to go to the doctor if you can't go during your shift. That's why this is in place. You definitely can go to the doctor during your shift. If I get questions along the way, just hit me.
Linda Colbert says, is that the understanding for a CA2 also?
Yes.
You just stole my
mouth's getting dry. I normally have a drink with me, but I decided not to tonight.
So Linda, he said yes.
Yeah, definitely. It applies the same for CA1 and CA2.
Katie says should have been a CA1, not a CA2. The postmaster filled out and sent it in without my knowledge or signature. Held up payments for several months.
Well, the postmaster made a mistake. I would definitely file a grievance. File a grievance. Anytime they do something that's against what I tell you is the right thing, file a grievance. If I said somebody should do something and they don't do it, file a grievance. And which, by the way, if I tell you to do something and someone else tells you something different, they're wrong and I'm right, ignore everything they tell you. Do not do what anybody tells you to do if it's opposite of what I tell you to do. Okay? I'm just trying to help you out. I was talking to someone yesterday who told me about what their shop steward said and what somebody else said, and that was fine, except all the things they said were somewhat incorrect. Not on purpose, they did the best they could, but it was overall wrong. And so we want to make sure that you're getting the right information. So when in doubt, do what I tell you. Anything else?
Mike wants to know. He said, do you know what agency fit for duty letters are?
Agency fit for duty letters?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a notice of your ability to work one way or the other. I'm sure that it goes both ways, whether you can work or can't work. If anybody's got one they'd like me to look over, send it to me and I'll be happy to look at it.
Yeah, that's from Mike. Or Mike, maybe you could just come to the Wednesday night chat. And we're in Boston.
Yeah, let me take a look.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go on to the next one. In a lot of our offices and a lot of the doctors that I've trained, they're chiropractors. And so people are hesitant to go to a chiropractor because they've been told over and over that a chiropractor can't help you. And which is, a problem for you because, your biggest issue is there's not nearly enough doctors that want to help you. And so when a chiropractor says, hey, me, I'll help you, and then you get told you can't see them, that's a problem. And so I did the research on it. And what a lot of people will say, especially at the post office, is that a chiropractor can only treat a subluxation if there's an x-ray that shows, that it exists. And that's all they can do. That's what it says, okay? But that's letter A. They forgot what letter D says, or they just purposely omitted it. And here's what it said. It's 20 CFR 10.311. It says that chiropractors can do services in the nature of physical therapy under the direction of and as prescribed by a qualified physician. Okay, so what that means is if you're in a chiropractic office doing physical therapy, that's perfectly fine. But we had a nurse case manager that came into one of our offices and took the patient and literally left with the patient and said, you have to go someplace else. Okay, that's a violation. They don't have to go someplace else. And the medical doctor works there too. So in order to have your case accepted, you need an MD. But to get ongoing treatment, you can be treated by a chiropractor just like you can be treated by a physical therapist. Okay, so don't be alarmed if you're in a chiropractic office and think something bad's going to happen. It's not. And nurse case managers cannot take you from your doctor. Remember, the choice of doctor is yours.
Yeah.
They can't take that from you. That writes in the law like 3 or 4 different places. It's your choice of doctor, so don't let anybody take you from your doctor.
I have a question here. Darlene Oliver says, my union rep said they cannot get involved with anything when it comes to workers' comp. What
union you're in?
Yeah, if you're saying union rep, I'm thinking rural carriers.
I don't know.
I know in Florida and I know in Wisconsin and all the places that we've gone to, the union reps are right behind the injured worker for sure. We get union reps that call us and ask us questions while they're helping the employees. So let us know so we could help you then. Give me a Facebook message, or you can give us a call at on my cell, 877-787-OWCP.
And we probably know somebody that can help you.
Yeah.
And we'd be happy to pass that on. So again, in January as well, I said that some supervisors are attempting to get in the way of federal employees' right to choose their physician. Supervisors don't have that right, and I said hashtag stay in your lane. So the supervisor's job in OWCP is to fill out the form, CA1 or CA2, and give you a copy of the whole thing and send it in to DOL within 10 days. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's their whole job, okay? It reminds me, like, you only had one job. That was their one job, okay? Fill it out, turn it in. And if they try to do anything else, they've overstepped their boundaries and they need to get back in their lane. They have one job. Fill out the forms, give you copies, turn it in. Other questions?
Not yet.
All right.
Michelle said she's excited to hear about us.
Well, we're excited to hear about you too, Michelle.
Those of you that are just hopping on, because I know a lot of you are just getting on, today we're going over all the Twitter feeds that Chris has been posting on Twitter, and we understand that not all of you have social media with Twitter.
You should get it.
It's great to get
no excuse, get it.
Because when he posts something, it's happening in real time. He's posting it now, and it's so beneficial that you guys could hop on Twitter, take those laws or the rules, and slap it in somebody's face.
Yeah, like, hey, but what about that law?
Exactly.
So like the next one, the supervisor are telling you, well, you missed your deadline for filing your claim. You had only 30 days to file your claim. Too bad. Or they say you had to file within 3 days. I heard that the other day, or 14 days, or you missed your filing deadline. What took you so long? If you said you got hurt 2 weeks ago, why are you just now telling me you can't file your claim? We hear this all the time. But what if you had a Twitter feed and you could show it to them and you could say, but what about this on OWCP that says I have 3 years from my date of injury to file a claim? What if you could show them that? Okay. And so that's what this is for, because you have that problem with the supervisor. You're like, oh, whoa. No, here's actually the law. And so give me my CA1. And by the way, if you don't, it also says that you could go to jail for a year. So, let's just get this thing filled out and turn it in.
Yeah, you guys, right? Don't let them test you like that. We had somebody from, I think it was Ohio, that called and said they had went on to Chris's Twitter to pull the law.
Yeah.
Then they went and said something to the supervisor. I can't remember which law. The supervisor said that person is incorrect, meaning that Chris is incorrect. But she says, how could she go about letting them see the law? I said, just show them your phone.
Yeah, here's the law.
Yeah, so I mean, like...
And by the way, to say that I'm incorrect on anything related to OWCP is a joke. Okay? I'm going to get salty here in a second.
Yeah, so
yeah, no. Just, you have this on your phone, you say, but it's right here. That's it. You know, it's right here.
Yeah, so that's why we have them on there. You could show them. CFR codes are not made up by Chris. These are codes that are coming from OWCP.
If I made them up, they'd have some other words in them.
Yeah.
It'd be a little more interesting.
So.
Yeah, but right here, I posted a screenshot from the DOL website, Department of Labor, that says that the Federal Employees Compensation Act provides that a claim for compensation must be filed within 3 years of the date of injury. That's for a traumatic injury. For a CA2 condition, it's 3 years from the date you knew it was work-related. And, yeah, so it's not 2 weeks, it's not 30 days, it's not 3 days, it's 3 years, okay? You have 3 years to file a claim. If you didn't file one, it's not too late. You should probably go back and try it.
Wait, how many years do I have to file a claim?
3.
We heard and we hear the weirdest things. 7 days, 15 days, 30 days, 90 days. And I'm like, no, it's 3 years. We had somebody that actually called for an injury and say we were wrong. And they were so scared to file their stuff because the supervisor said, no, you only have 30 days. And they really have 3 years.
You can go to jail for a year for preventing someone from filing an injury.
Yeah.
And earlier I was talking about nurse case managers and the one that took somebody from the office. And we had another one in Florida where they tried to do that as well. So I called Eric. Eric's our lawyer friend, right? And I said, Eric, can you point me to the place in the law that allows case managers to move patients to another office? His answer was, there's not one. So that was just it. There's no place in the law that allows a case manager to force you to leave the office. So don't let that happen. And that's on Twitter.
Hold on.
I was on fire in January.
Yeah, you were.
I put a lot of stuff up there. I think I got fatigued.
Jennifer says, was told by coworker that you will lose medical OWCP coverage if you get an MMI schedule award. True?
No, you have lifetime medical benefits if you have an accepted work injury claim. You know, what if it's resolved and then you have a flare up in the future and you have a recurrence, right? So a CA2A, it would be covered. So just that example alone is how you know it's not true.
Yeah. And let me see. Shelly says, a quick question. What would you suggest the doctor put on the doctor's note? I hope you're talking about the narrative.
Yeah, that's I'm going to get to that actually because I posted on Twitter and we're going through my Twitter feed tonight at Fed Injury Center.
Share this, guys. Share this. It's really important.
Yeah. Anything else there?
No, not now.
All right. So in February, I posted this 20 CFR 10.110 letter A. The employer shall complete the agency portion of Form CA1 and 2. And the employer shall also complete the receipt of notice and give it to the employee along with copies of both sides of CA1 and 2. Why did I post that on there? Because supervisors say, I don't have to give you a copy. Now, if you don't get a copy of your CA1 or CA2, there's a lot that can go wrong. You know, supervisors can write things on there that'll kill your case. There could be bad dates. We had somebody who the supervisor whiteouted some things and changed dates. Like, it's incredibly terrible. Box 36 on the second page of the CA1 asks a supervisor if they intend to controvert pay. Wouldn't you want to know that? But you don't get to know that if you don't get a copy of everything. So this is the law that says they have to give you a copy of everything. It's critically important. You leave there with a copy of everything, period. Okay? And when the supervisor says, I don't have to give it to you, but what about this law, 20 CFR 10.110A? What about that? Because here's what it says, along with both copies or copies of both sides. You're not going to be able to do that if you're not following me on Twitter, because it's likely you're not going to write this down and carry it in your pocket. Okay? Like, if you haven't had a work injury yet, you don't need this right now. And so
but take the knowledge and share it with other coworkers,
because you're going to need it, or somebody's going to need it.
Right.
There's a ton of work injuries that just go unreported, and you can't let that happen anymore. The outcome is terrible if you don't report your injury.
Tammy wants to know what MMI is.
Maximum medical improvement. It's the doctor is the medical doctor is the only one that can determine MMI, and that means you're as good as you're ever going to get. with the treatment that has been available to you. And once the doctor says you're at MMI, then you can potentially be eligible for a schedule award.
Hey, Maria.
All right, so the other thing that supervisors do, and you'd like to combat it if it happens, is they say, I'm not going to turn your forms in until I get medical documentation. Show me that you're really hurt. You know, like a supervisor has a medical license and would even understand it if they saw it. You know, if a doctor gave a medical report to a supervisor at any federal agency, it's likely the supervisor would look at it and go, huh? Like, what does this mean?
Yep.
And even some of them, like, unbelievably, will argue with what the doctor said. Like, really? Again, show me your medical license. But they'll hold on to your CA1 or 2 until they get proof, you know, medical proof. Well, I posted here in February, 20 CFR 10.110C, that the employer should not wait for submittal of supporting evidence before sending the form to OWCP. Should not wait. That's kind of the opposite of what these people are being told. And so if you're there and the supervisor says, I'm not going to fill that in, or I'm not going to turn this in until I get medical documentation, then, you know, you just show them the Twitter feed. And like, but what about this? You know, this says you can't wait. And they don't need it anyways. They had one job. Fill it out, turn it in, right? Give you a copy.
This is a crazy question. Can a supervisor come with you to see the doctor? Unless your arm is falling off and they have to take you, I would take them. Like sometimes we hear the weirdest stories, even from the presidents, that they go and they're not supposed to. We even had one supervisor block other coworkers from going to visit them because they said, I think they were trying to change the story or something on the CA1. Remember that? It was bad.
So can a supervisor go with you to a doctor's visit? Okay, let me answer that literally. Can. Yes, they can. It's all about you.
Yeah,
do you want
your
them
choice.
to? The real question is, do you have to allow them to do it? And the answer to that is absolutely not. Medical is private. And if a supervisor demands that they go with you to the doctor, then they have to sit in the reception room and wait, because they're not allowed to go back unless you let them go back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how it works. I honestly, I know she said yes. I wouldn't. If a supervisor wanted to go with me to the doctor, unless their whole thing is they want to drive me there because
that's
I need
what
it.
I meant. Like if your arm is falling off,
drive me there. But you have no business in the room with me and my doctor.
Or if Chris, body slammed me and broke my leg.
That'd be awfully weird.
I body slammed him.
Okay. All right, so moving on.